Good afternoon, everybody. This is your girl Cha Cha reporting live from the Cosmic Club. And today, you'll notice it's Sunday, not Wednesday. I did have to shift my schedule a little bit because of some personal things that I have going on in my life. But welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is your first time attending, this is Off the Charts. It is a limited series that focuses on shifting your mindset about money and showing you how to use the power within you to generate more wealth in your life. Now, that may seem like a crazy far out concept, but it's been proven. Tons of people have done it. And I'm here to tell you that you can put yourself in a position to do the same thing if you basically follow these basic steps. There are tons of books you can read, tons of people you can study, but today we're going to be focusing on a book called The Science of Getting Rich, written by Wallace D. Wattles. I'm not really sure where it was written. I tend to listen to audiobooks so I can multitask, but you can find this on Apple Music, you can find it on Spotify, and they even have versions of it on YouTube. So wherever you can find some time, I highly encourage you guys to listen to this book, especially if getting wealthy is something that is a focus of yours and it's something that you want to do. Now, for people who do not know me, my name is Cha Cha. I am the founder of the Cosmic Club, which is a high vibration network focused on shifting people's mindset about their self image and money. Because when you have a more positive self image, you tend to have a higher belief level, letting you know that you can make as much money as you want. Getting rich is not off limits to you. And if you believe that, you have to sit and question who taught you that and where did you get those ideals. The money mantra is live every single week, typically on Wednesdays or Sundays. But you can check us out on YouTube. I will post the link below as well. So if you are watching this on YouTube, make sure that you like, comment, share, subscribe. If you hear anything in this video that resonates with you. Now, this was not something that I have been studying all my life, but once I actually came into harmony with these concepts, I did see the changes within my life. I've been studying it consistently for about 2 years, and every day I'm adding something new to my just understanding the knowledge about how money works, how do I work, and how do I actually get to where I want to be. Somebody who's really amazing who studies this concept of using your thoughts to get what you want is Mr. Bob Proctor. So for my people who've been around and you've been watching my videos for quite some time, you already know how much I love Bob Proctor. I highly encourage you to just go to YouTube, type in the search bar, Bob Proctor, and I will start with You Were Born Rich, but that's not what we're talking about today. Maybe down the line we will cover that series as well. But today we're back on the science of getting rich. This is actually week 11 of a 17-week series, so we're getting through it. We're almost done, but the book has been amazing to me, in my opinion. So if you guys have been getting value from this book, whether you are on Zoom, Clubhouse, or Instagram, just go ahead and drop some threes in the chat to let me know if you've been enjoying this series. Now, today, we are going to be focusing on chapter 11, which is called Acting in a Certain Way. I'm not going to go through and recap every chapter, but the way he gets through the book is by setting you up to believe that you have the right to be rich and then breaking it down as to why that is so. He lets you know that not one person has a monopoly on riches. Nobody can make the final decision on your life because the person at the end of the day who really signs the paycheck is God. So if you say you want to be a millionaire, then continue to have those aspirations, continue to do those things. Nobody can take that from you. Just because it's not something that they see for their life doesn't mean that it's not something that you could see for your life. So stop feeling bad about wanting better for yourself and just start to understand that you genuinely deserve that. So if you are somebody who's desiring better, you want better, and you know that you're going to have better, just go ahead and drop some threes in the chat. Excuse me, that'll be our number for today. So far, like I said, we got through about 10 chapters. This is chapter 11. You can catch the rest of the videos on YouTube. At first, I wasn't going to post it there because I wanted this to be an exclusive series, but then I thought about it and I feel like everybody should have access to this information. So without further ado, guys, I am going to put myself on, well, I'm going to turn my camera off for a second and I'm going to go ahead and play chapter 11, which is called Acting in a Certain Way. If you do want to hear this chapter again, you feel like maybe the concepts were too heavy or you didn't get it the first time around, just go, like I said, to Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere that you can find audio content and listen to the entire book from the beginning. You can take it a chapter a day, you can do a few chapters a day, but we've been taking it one chapter at a time just so we can really dive deep into these concepts and the things that they're saying. So, again, without further ado, here is chapter 11. Please feel free to leave your comments in the chat with how you feel. And I'm going to go ahead and share some of my thoughts, and then we'll all bring it together at the end for an open discussion. So, here we go, guys. Let's go.
Chapter 11 Acting in the Certain Way. Thought is the creative power or the impelling force which causes the creative power to act. Thinking in a certain way will bring riches to you, but you must not rely upon thought alone, paying no attention to personal action. That is the rock upon which many otherwise scientific metaphysical thinkers meet shipwreck. The failure to connect thought with personal action. We have not yet reached the stage of development, even supposing such a stage to be possible, in which man can create directly from formless substance without nature's processes or the work of human hands. Man must not only think, but his personal action must supplement his thought. By thought, you can cause the gold in the hearts of the mountains to be impelled toward you, but it will not mine itself, refine itself, coin itself into double eagles, and come rolling along the road seeking its way into your pocket. Under the impelling power of the Supreme Spirit, men's affairs will be so ordered that someone will be led to mine the gold for you. Other men's business transactions will be so directed that the gold will be brought toward you, and you must so arrange your business affairs that you may be able to receive it when it comes to you. Your thought makes all things, animate and inanimate, work to bring you what you want. But your personal activity must be such that you can rightly receive what you want when it reaches you. You are not to take it as charity, nor to steal it. You must give every man more in use value than he gives you in cash value. The scientific use of thought consists in forming a clear and distinct mental image of what you want, in holding fast to the purpose to get what you want, and in realizing with grateful faith that you do get what you want. Do not try to project your thought in any mysterious or occult way with the idea of having it go out and do things for you. That is wasted effort and will weaken your power to think with sanity. The action of thought in getting rich is fully explained in the preceding chapters. Your faith and purpose positively impress your vision upon formless substance, which has the same desire for more life that you have. And this vision, received from you, sets all the creative forces at work in and through their regular channels of action, but directed toward you. It is not your part to guide or supervise the creative process. All you have to do with that is to retain your vision, stick to your purpose, and maintain your faith and gratitude. But you must act in a certain way so that you can appropriate what is yours when it comes to you, so that you can meet the things you have in your picture and put them in their proper places as they arrive. You can really see the truth of this. When things reach you, they will be in the hands of other men who will ask an equivalent for them. And you can only get what is yours by giving the other man what is his. Your pocketbook is not going to be transformed into a Fortunatus purse, which shall always be full of money without effort on your part. This is the crucial point in the science of getting rich, right here, where thought and personal action must be combined. There are very many people who, consciously or unconsciously, set the creative forces in action by the strength and persistence of their desires, but who remain poor because they do not provide for the reception of the thing they want when it comes. By thought, the thing you want is brought to you. By action, you receive it. Whatever your action is to be, it is evident that you must act now. You cannot act in the past, and it is essential to the clearness of your mental vision that you dismiss the past from your mind. You cannot act in the future, for the future is not here yet, and you cannot tell how you will want to act in any future contingency until that contingency has arrived. Because you are not in the right business or the right environment now, do not think that you must postpone action until you get into the right business or environment. And do not spend time in the present taking thought as to the best course in possible future emergencies. Have faith in your ability to meet any emergency when it arrives. If you act in the present with your mind on the future, your present action will be a divided mind and will not be effective. Put your whole mind into present action. Do not give your creative impulse to original substance and then sit down and wait for results. If you do, you will never get them. Act now. There is never any time but now, and there never will be any time but now. If you are ever to begin to make ready for the reception of what you want, you must begin now. And your action, whatever it is, must most likely be in your present business or employment, and must be upon the persons and things in your present environment. You cannot act where you are not. You cannot act where you have been. And you cannot act where you are going to be. You can act only where you are. Do not bother as to whether yesterday's work was well done or ill done. Do today's work well. Do not try to do tomorrow's work now. There will be plenty of time to do that when you get to it. Do not try by occult or mystical means to act on people or things that are out of your reach. Do not wait for a change of environment before you act. Get a change of environment by action. You can so act upon the environment in which you are now as to cause yourself to be transferred to a better environment. Hold with faith and purpose the vision of yourself in a better environment, but act upon your present environment with all your heart and with all your strength and with all your mind. Do not spend any time in daydreaming or castle building. Hold to the one vision of what you want and act now. Do not cast about seeking some new things to do or some strange, unusual, or remarkable action to perform as a first step toward getting rich. It is probable that your actions, at least for some time to come, will be those you have been performing for some time past. But you are to begin now to perform these actions in a certain way, which will surely make you rich. If you are engaged in some business and feel that it is not the right one for you, do not wait until you get into the right business before you begin to act. Do not feel discouraged or sit down and lament because you are misplaced. No man was ever so misplaced, but that he could not find the right place. And no man ever became so involved in the wrong business, but that he could get into the right business. Hold the vision of yourself in the right business with the purpose to get into it, and the faith that you will get into it and are getting into it. But act in your present business. Use your present business as the means of getting a better one, and use your present environment as the means of getting into a better one. Your vision of the right business, if held with faith and purpose, will cause the Supreme to move the right business toward you. And your action, if performed in a certain way, will cause you to move toward the business. If you are an employee or wage earner and feel that you must change places in order to get what you want, do not project your thought into space and rely upon it to get you another job. It will probably fail to do so. Hold the vision of yourself in the job you want while you act with faith and purpose on the job you have, and you will certainly get the job you want. Your vision and faith will set the creative force in motion to bring it toward you, and your action will cause the forces in your own environment to move you toward the place you want. In closing this chapter, we will add another statement to our syllabus. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which, in its original state, permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe. A thought in this substance produces the thing that is imaged by the thought. Man can form things in his thought, and by impressing his thought upon formless substance, can cause the thing he thinks about to be created. In order to do this, man must pass from the competitive to the creative mind. He must form a clear mental picture of the things he wants and hold this picture in his thoughts with the fixed purpose to get what he wants and the unwavering faith that he does get what he wants. Closing his mind to all that may tend to shake his purpose, dim his vision, or quench his faith. That he may receive what he wants when it comes, man must act now upon the people and things in his present environment.
All right. So that was chapter 11 of The Science of Getting Rich. And again, if this is your first time listening to this program or this information, I can really see how it could be a lot because instead of just saying things, well, he said a lot of direct things, but it's a big concept to wrap your mind around if you've never actually heard it. So I will give people just about 15 seconds or so to add some comments into the chat and I'll read them to the group. If not, I'm going to move on to the notes that I have and what this chapter means to me, how you can tie it together with the other chapters, and how you can really start to apply these things today in your life. Um, something that you're going to notice a lot within this book is that he tends to repeat himself a lot. And something that he says in almost every chapter is that there is a thinking substance from which all things are made. And this just means that whatever thoughts you have, they are going to be produced, whether you find those thoughts to be positive thoughts or negative thoughts. So if you've been here listening to the rest of the chapter, you should know now that one, you can choose your thoughts, and two, you can choose the thoughts that you don't want to have either. You must stay focused only on the things that you want and not what you don't want, because the dominant thoughts are actually what become your reality. So if you're sitting there thinking, "Oh my God, I don't like this job, I don't like where I am, you're going to stay in that place because you're consistently sending those thoughts out into the universe. Every single thought that every person has, whether it's positive or negative, a result will be produced. So if you take about 10 seconds to think about where you are in now, where you are right now in your life, maybe you're at a job you don't like. Are you there because you were at a previous job you didn't like and then you applied to this position? So you wanted a different job. It was something that you prayed for, but it's not where you want to be. Or maybe you, I know it's tax season right now where I live in the United States. Maybe you apply for your taxes and you had intentions with that money, but you completely spent it on something else. And now you're telling yourself, why does this always happen? And you have to wait for the next new opportunity to get that large lump sum. Now, if you've ever find yourself in that position, because I know I have, just drop some threes in the chat, right? And it's only because you were so busy focused on what you did last time, which is you spent all your money. You were so busy focused on what you did last time. What did you do to land that job before? Now, just because you didn't like the work situation that you were in, you just wanted to get out of that situation, which you did, but you did not think yourself into a better position. Now, a good example of this, just keeping the job analogy in mind, is like, let's just say you are at a job, you don't like the position that you have. Maybe you're just a cashier, or maybe you're just a entry level, low level employee. You don't like that, right? Excuse me, guys. But you're not doing anything extra, right? Because I know I've definitely been that employee where they're asking you to do extra stuff, and I'm like, well, this is my job. I didn't sign up for this. It's not in my job description. However, you're saying that you want more pay, and you can even see yourself being a manager. Now, the question becomes, how do you actually get to that position in the future if you are not taking the steps to get there now? If you're not doing a little extra, if you're not following the code, if you're not taking the steps you need to take, if you're not building those relationships with other people within your company, how do you expect to advance? So essentially, based on the actions that you're taking right now, you are setting yourself up for the future. Now, a lot of people, especially people who tend to be extremely just devout and religious, and they're not really flexible in that, they believe that they can say one thing and that the universe, God, whatever they believe in, is going to will it to happen. But that's not true. Like he said at the beginning of this particular chapter, he said you must not rely on thoughts alone, and you cannot just will and think things into existence, right? Your thoughts must be connected with a personal action, and the personal action has to supplement your thoughts, right? So that means however you're seeing yourself, right? Because that's where it starts, is with the thought, is with the self-image. However you're seeing yourself and whichever actions you're taking, that's going to be a direct reflection into the results that you actually get. Now, one thing that I do like about this book is that it's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward, and it just always brings us back to what are we focused on? Right? What is your focus? If you're somebody who wants to make more money in his lifetime, just go ahead and drop some threes in the chat, right? And I'll drop some threes as well. I will drop some threes as well. If you're somebody who wants to make more money, what are you doing today? Right? What are you doing in this moment that's going to position you for that? Now, I can answer that for some people and say, okay, I'm listening to the money mantra. I'm listening to off the charts. I'm making time to make sure that my thoughts are on track with what I actually want. But what happens when you get off this call? Right? Are you going to continue to stay focused? Are you going to continue to um align yourself with things that you are saying that you want? If you are trying to move up in life, are you looking for those people who are going to help get you there? Are you reading books that's going to put you in a position like to do that? Are you connecting with people? Are you seeking out opportunities that's going to help you to do that? Now, in my personal experience, I can definitely say that taking action, in addition to having positive thoughts, are what got me here, and this was going to continue to take me further. Like I was somebody who was continuously working, continuously applying for positions that I didn't necessarily want or like, but after every job I've had, I always told myself, okay, I'm never working overnight again. Okay, I'm never going to be an employee again. Okay, I'm never going to make below this certain amount again. Okay, I'm never going to have one stream of income. So I started to do things that put me in a position to get the things I want. And I really did see, honestly, I saw the shift within my life. So when I first became an entrepreneur, like a serious entrepreneur back in 2020, I did have a full-time job. I was getting paid weekly. I was making commissions. And I can say that these were things that I told myself that I wanted. I was not going to make lower than a certain amount. I was not going to work a job without commission. And I was not going to work a job that wasn't aligning with my financial needs. Now, I thought about this, I focused on it, I got it. But then when I actually got it, I realized that it wasn't enough. So the only thing that I can do in the moment was to change what I was thinking about to then set up a new result for myself. And that's when I started investing. I started trading within the foreign exchange market. And I became really good at it, and I started to help other people as well. Right now, I say all this to say I always wanted to make more money. I always wanted to have multiple streams of income. I always wanted to be a teacher, and continuing to take the steps where I was at the moment actually led me to be in a position to do that. Right. So, what he was saying in this book is that you have to continuously act in the way to either attract the things you want or to set yourself up to get the things you want, which essentially is attracting it, right? You have to continuously do that. If you want better, you have to act better. I remember I went to a convention. I feel like it was in July of 2021. It was the Believe Nation convention with entrepreneur and best-selling author. His name is David Imonitie. He is actually one of the highest paid African American men in network marketing. And the convention was just so it was just so relevant because it was so focused on faith and so focused on purpose and so focused on being direct and manifesting the things that you want. And the crazy thing is that it's not anything magnificent or magical that you have to do. There are small things that you have to do to initiate those changes in your life. The best example that I give on every single session, if you've ever heard any one of my sessions, you've ever heard me speak, is fitness and working out. A lot of people will have a weight goal, right, or a dream body that they want to get. But just let me know if you think that you can just sit there and achieve your dream body through not eating or water diets or subliminals. I know they have subliminals on YouTube. Drop some ones in the chat, right? And I shouldn't really see many ones. But if you know that you have to envision the dream body that you want, create a vision board, but then actively maybe change your diet, actively get up and go to the gym, actively buy fitness gear, right? To align yourself with the results that you're trying to get. So if that makes sense, just drop some threes in the chat, right? Just drop some threes in the chat and I will as well, because it's not, and that's the whole purpose of this chapter. It's not just about thinking a certain way, it's about acting a certain way so that your thoughts, your actions, and your results always align, right? Something else that he brought up that he continuously brings up throughout this book is that there's always going to be an exchange going on, right? All of your relationships and situations, business relationships, personal relationships, friendships, they don't have to particularly be just strictly transactional. Like, well, I did this for you, so you do this for me. But they do have to be you're exchanging a value in some type of way. If you're expecting somebody to give you something, you have to be giving them something back as well. For example, if you are a business owner, right, and you have a business plan, nobody's just going to give you the money, right? They're not just going to give you the money as soon as you have a business idea. Go to the bank, go to a lender, go to anybody to try to get the money. They're not going to do that. However, for you to even have been at the position where you want to start this business, or you want to take your career a step further, or you want to do this new thing, you would have had to already been gaining the experience through your past actions. You already have to be in a position right now with your business plan written up and everything that happened in your life prior to the moment of you asking for the money and increasing your chances of getting approval. um it was already done, right? And that's something that he said is that you can't focus too much on the past. You can't really focus too much on the future, but you can focus on the present, right? If you know that you're somebody that may need a business loan to open that store, to open that salon, to open that restaurant, to open that venue, to start that brand or clothing line, you know you're somebody who needs that money. What can you do today that's going to get you closer to that position, right? Is there anybody that you can call today that's going to get you closer to that position? Is there anything that you can watch on YouTube that's going to make you more knowledgeable? So when it's time to actually ask for that money, when it's time to go apply for that business credit, when it's time to get your LLC, you'll have everything you need because you were taking the steps consistently, right? Now, one of my favorite um quotes is that the it's something along the lines of the success of my future lies in the habits of my daily routine. And that's very, very true. Now, if I said to myself, I want to take a really big trip, right? I want to take a really big trip internationally at the end of the year. I'm not going to wait until the end of the year to start planning that. I'm going to say, okay, where do I want to go? Right? How much does this cost? How am I going to make the money to do that? Where do I want to stay? Right? Do I need to get any additional paperwork, medications, vaccines. How do I need to be prepared? So when it's time for me to go there and to get on that plane and to make that journey, there's no reason why I should be stopped or denied because I've been preparing myself on a daily basis because I knew where I wanted to go. Now, if we stop, we think about our success the same way, or we think about our financial situation the same way, we have to first decide, right? And this is going to be the first step every time. How much money do I want to make? Right? You can do this daily, right? A lot of people find it easier to do it monthly. And if you're a self-employed person, independent contractor, you can even break this down into, like I say, a weekly or daily. How much is it that I need to make for what it is that I'm trying to achieve? Or what do I want to make? Maybe some people want to make $100,000 a year, right? You want to get a raise where you are. Maybe you want to break out of the working world completely, and you want to try your hands at making $100,000 a month, right? These things are not impossible. It's all about what is your goal, right? What is the thought that you're holding on to, right? What are the thoughts that you're sending into the universe on a daily basis, and are your actions corresponding with those things, right? So if every action you're taking in your life right now is corresponding so where you want to be, drop some threes in the chat. But if you can improve, right, because we can always improve, just drop some sevens in the chat. Right, I'm gonna just drop 3737. Right, because it's just a little bit of both, right? And I know a lot of people can't relate. I see some people dropping both numbers, which is amazing. It's just extremely important. Something else that he brought up in this chapter that I wrote down that I just think is extremely relevant is that he said, do not act in the past or the present, act on the now. Put your whole mind on the present action, right? Because the past has already passed and you really can't predict the future other than taking the right steps to get where you want to be. Back to the fitness analogy. If you want to lose 20 pounds in I don't know, let's say 5 weeks, then your mind logically says, okay, I have to lose 4 pounds a week. Then your mind will go to, okay, how can I do that? Can I rev up my fitness? Can I cut back anything in my diet? And you're going to take those steps on a daily basis. You know that if you overeat your calories today, right? You know that if you overspend your business budget today, you know that if you say or do this thing to this particular individual today, it's going to take you off track for where you're trying to go. And a lot of these things we know, but we sometimes think that the future and our goals are too far off. So we think it's okay to take a shortcut, right? We think it's okay to have a cheat day, whether it's in fitness or whether it's in business or whether it's in faith. You think it's okay to have a cheat day, but that's not what the rules say, right? When you read books like this, when you read books like Think and Grow Rich, when you read books like Tools of Titans, right, by Tim Ferriss, it's everything is pretty direct. If you want to be successful, wake up earlier. If you want to be successful, have a vision board. If you want to be successful, have a goal. If you want to be successful, stay focused, right? And this book is no different. It's telling you that if you want to attain the things that you see in your mind, but first you have to find that one thing that you want to hold on to in your mind. Maybe it's being rich, maybe it's being successful, maybe it's driving a Maserati, maybe it's traveling to all of the 80 countries, right? Maybe it's traveling to a different country every couple of months. Maybe it's taking 6 vacations a year, right? Maybe it's launching multiple businesses that are allowing you to have passive income so that you don't have to show up at your job anymore. All of these things are possibilities, right? But are you aligning yourself to get what you want, or are you just sitting back, right, and hoping and wishing and praying that things will happen without you physically getting up to do any work, right? Because that's not how things go, right? You can think about the future, but you can't predict the future, but you can control yourself in this moment. You can decide that, okay, I've been in bed because I know I do this all the time. I've been in bed for a while. It's time for me to get up and actually get my day started, right? Maybe I've been choosing the wrong things, right? Maybe when after you have a long day, instead of going to watch a self-help thing or a millionaire mindset thing or even off the charts or the digital dash, instead of doing that, maybe you're choosing to watch Netflix. Maybe you're choosing to watch movies. Maybe you're choosing reality TV when in reality these things are counter to what you should be programming your mind with, right? Now, I never said it was going to be easy. It's simple, right? It's very straightforward, but it's not easy because a lot of these things we've learned, we've been accustomed to it. We just have our habits and patterns, right? Every Wednesday, I'm going to watch this show. Every Friday, I'm going to watch this show. Every Sunday, I'm going to watch this show. Okay, so what time are you programming to align with your goals, right? It's okay to switch it up. It's okay to say no. It's okay to be different than how you were before because that's the only way you're going to change, right? Another one of my favorite quotes is nothing changes if nothing changes, right? Nothing changes if nothing changes. So what are you willing to change today? Like, are you willing to act a certain way to get to the level that you're willing to get? Are you willing to discipline yourself enough, right? I highly encourage you guys to go back and listen to chapters 9 and chapters 10, right? Which is the use of the will, right? And further use of the will, which is, do you have enough discipline to actually do these things? Right? Everybody say they want to get rich, but nobody wants to do what it actually takes to get rich, right? A lot of people, this is an example I can give. I've never been to the military, but I know if that's something that you choose to do, you have to act a certain way. There are certain things that you have to do on a daily basis. There's certain orders and procedures and routines that you have to follow in order to get the desired outcome, right? As a chef, there's certain things that you just have to do. I can't boil pasta before, I can't cook pasta without boiling the water first, right? It's just certain things that you have to do, right? It's just certain things that you have to do. I always use the example of pants because it's simple and it's easy to understand. I can't put both legs in my pants on at the same time because the most logical, scientific way to get this done, right, is to put one leg in before the other, right? So if we can understand these basic concepts, right, we can understand these basic concepts. Some food you have to chew before you swallow. It's just something that you have to do, right? Why can't you understand that there are basic procedures, processes, and routines that you have to follow in order to set yourself up for financial freedom, to set yourself up for time freedom, right? Now, my first year being an entrepreneur, it was amazing. Things were going really well because I was really taking my work experience and everything that I had learned and I was applying it in this environment. Right. So it started off nice, but year two, which is what we're in right now, is not as smooth and as easy as it was for year one. Now I feel like some people may have an opposite experience because they don't have any experience starting off with, but I had a little bit of experience. So I was trying to take what I knew, aka focusing on the past, to help me in the present, and it wasn't always working. So I had to learn to make new decisions. I'm learning to do new things. I'm learning to just go with the flow a little bit more and to really focus, right? To not focus on the past experiences that I've had that got me here, right? And to continue to act in that way, but to keep taking on new ideas, to keep reading new books, to keep trying new things, to keep thinking, right? And acting in a certain way and using my will to stay focused on what I want. And I can actually say that it's gotten me further than what I know, right? Because again, nothing changes if nothing changes. Um, the last thing I want to say is that it's not really important to rush. This is not a race. It's really a marathon, and you are the only person in the entire marathon because it's you versus you. You don't have to get there before somebody else, and if you get there after somebody else, that's okay because you may have lessons to learn or things to do that they've already gotten through. Right? Some people it takes a few times for them to learn a lesson. Some people learn it one time. Like if you had something happen to you and you said, "All right, I only need one time," right? I don't need nobody to ever tell me again, right? Just drop some threes in the chat. If you only needed one time to learn a lesson, right? But if you find yourself going through the same situations, meeting the same people, ending up in the same financial situation, never having time to do the things you love with your life, drop some ones in the chat because that's just signaling to you that it is time for a change, right? Now, don't be upset about where you are because it's something that you prayed for before, right? Like I have friends who have prayed to, I want to be on my own. I want to live this way. I want to live this way. Then they live on their own and then they have a bunch of other problems that arise, right? It's not that they didn't get what they want. It's just that now it's time to take more intention and focus on something else that you want. I myself, again, have prayed for better opportunities and positions in the traditional working world. And I've gotten those things, but they still didn't appease me or make me happy. Now, something I did do, and this is not something I encourage you to do unless you feel compelled, is I will always exit left. Like if I'm not feeling it, I'm leaving, I'm quitting, I'm going to find something else. And that didn't necessarily make the situation better. But what I should have done, and it's something that he mentioned in this book, is that you have to use what you have to get what you want. Use the present to direct your future in the right way. Like you cannot control it 100%, but you can take the steps in the direction that you're looking to go. So when you finally get there, it's going to be like, oh wow, this is actually what I've been working towards. So just to put it into context of how do you increase your money? How do you increase your self-image? How do you increase your personal value? If you have a job, but you're not the person that wants to continuously be working, find other ways to generate income because it's not about the job, right? It's really about the resources that the job are providing you. Maybe they're providing you with money to feed your family, put gas in your car, pay, go on vacations, right? Maybe they're giving you benefits for insurance, right? If you can find an alternative way to supplement your income or even to create more income, wouldn't that be amazing? Now you don't have to take your whole entire check right now. You don't have to quit your job, but while you have that steady income coming in, use it to invest in different things. Use it to learn about investing in different techniques. I myself, I am a digital educator. This is what I teach people how to do every day, all day, right? I'm teaching them how to take what you have to get what you want. I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't know that you can start investing in the foreign exchange market with as little as $50, right? And then you can multiply that money and you can really start to use it on a daily basis. You can use it to put gas in your car, right? So now that puts a little less pressure on you to have to go to work or do this extra thing just to make 20 bucks, right? Maybe you want to get into cryptocurrency or learning how to who make a daily profit as a day trader, right? That's also something that I can teach you. Use the job that you have, right? Use the resources that you have, the money that you have, the people that you have around you to take you to that next level, right? Because it's not going to be separate. It has to be a transition, right? And during the transition, nothing ever really stops. Things just change. So start to take the resources that you have to create more resources for yourself. Right? He said, hold your vision and act with faith and purpose because if you want it, you can have it. And the only way that you won't have it is if you stop now, is if you don't put more intention and planning into the direction that you actually want to take your life. Like you have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to think in a certain way. You have to be willing to give up certain things in place of other things. You have to be willing to change your mindset to replace it with a mindset that's more conducive to where you are now, right? You got to be willing to delete those apps in your mind, right? Those messages, those emails, everything in your brain, right? And give yourself an update. That's another analogy I like to use. We update our phones, right? We get new emojis all the time. They make it easier for us to use. Sometimes it's a little bit of a adjustment if you haven't updated your phone in a while, but when you do it, you get used to it. And it's the same thing you have to do with yourself. Take out all of that stuff that doesn't matter. Take out the negative thoughts. Take out the negative friends and family members. Take out the bad habits, right? And just replace it with something you know is going to help you, right? And just because you don't see the results right now, be consistent, right? Look at other people who have had massive success doing these things and start to study those individuals. Again, I say this all the time. If you want to be a doctor, go study medicine, right? If you want to be a lawyer, you go study the law. If you want to be wealthy, right, and successful, I encourage you to study wealthy and successful people. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I really do hope that you guys enjoyed this conversation today. I love talking about these things because these are tiny concepts and thoughts. Well, they're actually major concepts, but small things you can do to really change your life and change your mind. I've been able to help a lot of people in a lot of different places around the world just by renewing their mind, right? It's okay to have been wrong. It's okay to have been taught the wrong thing, right? It's okay to not understand everything that's going on now, but if you resonate with it, right, on a soul level and it makes sense, try it out. Because if what you've been doing hasn't been working, how much could it hurt to actually try something new, right? And to try something different. But that is what I'll leave you guys here with today. That was chapter 11 of The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. Again, you can check this audiobook out on Apple Music, right? You can check it out on Spotify, and you can even find versions of it on YouTube. This is an amazing self-help book for people who are focused on getting wealthy and creating a better life, not just for you, right, but for the rest of your family, even for generations to come. Again, my name is Cha Cha. I'm the founder of the Cosmic Club. You can find us on Instagram at The Cosmic Club or online 24/7 at ourcosmicclub.com to learn more about this series, other original series we have, and also how you can get started multiplying your money today directly from your phone. So if you're interested in learning more about anything I spoke about today, if you're interested in having me as a personal mentor to help get you to that next level in your life, I highly encourage you to reach out to me. Again, this is Cha Cha, and peace and profits to all.